Okay, so we're going to talk about the second method of creating the end of term due date, which is creating another terms of use. And you'll see that we checked out the book Miss Jeffries Plays the Cook on the 8th of May, and it's due back on June the 5th, which is 28 days from now. And this is for a student user group. If you go to Actions and View Policies, you'll be able to see the terms of use that was used, 28-day student stacks, and you'll be able to see the due date here, which is 28-day loan. In Alma, you can go to the configuration menu and they'll have three different calendars. You have a calendar that lives on the institution level, which is Gordon State, and you can look at that by clicking on opening hours. And what you put on a institution level calendar are things like exceptions to normal standard opening hours, and exceptions would be things like holidays like Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. You can also add events, and events can be anything. So just for the example, I created some kind of ridiculous ones so they stuck out. So we have three events here. One of them is end of term, and what you can do with an end of term event is, well, basically in and of itself, creating an event doesn't have any effect on loan policies until you associate it with a terms of use. So just putting the event end of term on here and entering a date does nothing to the loan. So what we're going to do is walk through how to associate that with a terms of use so that this does in fact have an effect. So what we'll do here is I'm going to go back and show you the calendar for Hightower, and you'll see that Hightower has the standard opening hours Monday through Friday, and the calendar exceptions and events that are inherited from the institution calendar are checkmarked in green right here. And so here you see the end of term event, and you see the same thing on the Guillebeau Hall repository calendar. If you look on that, you'll see the standard opening hours for Guillebeau, and you'll see the events and exceptions that were inherited. And you have to have standard opening hours on the calendar so that you can loan books. Let's go back to cancel, and we're going to go to the institution calendar, and what you would do is you would add a event on here. So we would do add record. Under record type, you're going to make that an event, and you're going to give it a description like end of the semester, and then you're going to give it a date. So whatever the end of the semester is, you would do that. The tricky thing here is it's asking for an hour and minute. Leave that blank. Do not fill that in, and then just click add and close, and you'll see that adds that to your calendar. And at this point, you're going to go to your configuration menu, and you'll be able to look at your terms of use policies, and you'll see that you've got a policy. I've created one called end of term, and if we click on that policy, you'll be able to see the configuration for different things like whether items are loanable or recallable, and the third one here is due date. And so we set the due date for this terms of use policy named end of term to be the end of term. You could have set it to be something else like 3-day or 2-day or 28-day, but we're going to call it end of term. If we go over to Actions and Edit, right here you'll see a value drop-down menu. this is where you're associating the calendar event to this particular policy called end of term. And I'm just calling them all the same thing. You don't have to call this end of term. The most important thing is this value drop-down menu. Depending on which one you select, so if I selected poker game, for example, and clicked on save, that would mean that the end of term policy would be, the due date for that policy would be whatever we entered for this event right here called poker game. And so the books would be due back on May the 2nd. And obviously we don't want the books due back on May the 2nd. So that is the reason why I did different events here, just to show you where that was coming from. So going back to our policy details for the policy end of term, we're going to change that to be end of term and click save. And what we can do is go back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and discharge this loan here, delete the loan. And I'm going to go ahead and check it right back out to Wile E. Coyote. Whoops, okay. Okay, and I left out one very, very important step, which was the second part of that, is you've got to move all of your shelving locations to the new terms of use that you just created. So what you have to do is, this is if you look under view policies, this is stacks. What you have to do is look under your fulfillment unit locations, and you're going to have to move these right here to a new location. So what I'm going to do is click on attach new location. Okay, actually I'm going to look at the locations that I have here for all the ones that say 28 days right here, and I'm going to make a note of that, and we're going to go through and remove those from our stacks location. So I'm removing the browsing, the child lit, the Guillebeau Hall oversize, and the one that says Guillebeau Hall repository collection, and the oversize Hightower, and the second floor general collection. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our new fulfillment unit by clicking on the main menu and going to configuration fulfillment units. And we had to create a fulfillment unit called end of term, and here it is right here. And you're going to have to add those locations to this fulfillment unit. So I'm going to click on attach existing location, and then we select all those locations again: browsing and childlit and Guillebeau Hall, and here's second floor. Okay, and I've attached all of these shelving locations to end of term. Now you can click on save, and you can go back to your manage patron services, and what I'm going to do is recheck this out. And now it has the due date of May the 10th. And so at the end of the semester, or actually at the beginning of the new semester, you're going to have to go into your fulfillment locations and move the locations that are in the end of term fulfillment unit, and move those to back where they usually are in the stacks location, right here.